For 25 years, Brightview Senior Living has been dedicated to creating an award-winning company culture so residents and families receive best-in-class services. Across our 50 communities, Brightview associates help deliver peace of mind, safety, security, transportation, daily programs, delicious food, and high-quality care if needed. Discover how our vibrant senior living communities can help you live your best life. Visit brightviewseniorliving.com to learn more. Equal housing opportunity.
Looking for hair removal tools that not only deliver smooth results, but also empower you with a sense of complete control? Enter Conair Girl Bomb, your secret weapons for smooth, sleek results, made just for women. From the ultimate Girl Bomb grip and professional-grade blades, you don't have to compromise and settle for less. Conair Girl Bomb equips you with the precision and power previously reserved for men's grooming tools. So take your hair removal routine to the next level with Conair Girl Bomb. Available at ConairGirlBomb.com or a retailer near you.
Bring a little optimism into your life with The Bright Side, a new kind of daily podcast from Hello Sunshine, hosted by me, Danielle Robay.
And me, Simone Boyce. Every weekday, we're bringing you conversations about culture, the latest trends, inspiration, and so much more.
I am so excited about this podcast, The Bright Side. You guys are giving people a chance to shine a light on their lives, shine a light on a little advice that they want to share.
Listen to The Bright Side on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search The Bright Side.
Truck stop brothels run by a web of ex-cons. A Commonwealth attorney wasted on whiskey and power. Protection exchanged for cash and flesh. This is Hookergate, Criminals and Libertines in the South. And I am your host and lifelong wayward woman, Dr. Lindsay Byron. Listen to Hookergate, Criminals and Libertines in the South on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hello. From Wonder Media Network, I'm Jenny Kaplan, and this is Womanica. Historically, women have been told to make themselves smaller, to diminish themselves. Some have used that to their advantage, disappearing into new identities. For others, a disappearance was the end to their stories, but the beginning of a new chapter in their legacies. This month, we're talking about disappearing acts. Today, we're talking about a writer whose legal woes careened her career and life off the map and out of the public eye. Let's talk about Yda Hillis Addis. Yda was born in Kansas around 1857. After the American Civil War began, her family moved to Mexico. Her father was a photographer. His work took him all over the country. Yda often accompanied him. On these trips, she got to see Mexico through a different lens. A lens that uplifted the country's indigenous cultures, history, and the oral tales one generation passed down to the next. When she was 15 years old, Yda's family moved to Los Angeles. Yda graduated high school there and got a job teaching. In her spare time, she wrote fictional prose for a San Francisco paper called The Argonaut. Because of her upbringing in Mexico, Yda was fluent in Spanish, so she also wrote and contributed to Mexican newspapers and periodicals. She was possibly the first American writer to translate Mexican legends into English. Her work told tales of the supernatural and centered women protagonists adventuring through love and romance. She wrote about life in California and in Mexico. Her story depicted cross-cultural understanding and introduced U.S. audiences to the traditions and history of Mexico. Yda's work gained momentum, and soon she was writing for publications like Harper's Monthly, the Los Angeles Times, and the Chicago Times. Her wit and charm translated off the page into real life. With her success came the attention of many men. In 1887, Yda accepted a marriage proposal from former California Governor John G. Downey. But they never made it to the altar. His family disapproved of the relationship, and the governor called it off. Yda sued him for $500,000 for breach of promise. And so began Yda's life in court. To take the heat off of her after going to court, Yda went back to Mexico, but trouble managed to find its way below the border. While there, the wife of Yda's editor accused Yda of stealing her husband. Yda was named as a co-defendant in the wife's lawsuit against her husband. With 2 scandals to her name, Yda tried her luck again in California. She was working on her book, A History of Southern California Counties. Her research led her straight into the arms of attorney Charles Stork. The couple married on September 10, 1890. Yda finished writing her book and retired to take care of her new husband's teenage son. So when Charles cashed the $400 check from Yda's book deal and didn't give her a dime, Yda was particularly hurt. She left him and told her story to an LA Times reporter. According to Yda, her husband began abusing her 3 weeks after the marriage. The story prompted an angry letter from Charles back to the LA Times. He tried to discredit Yda, saying she tried to take her own life, took extreme dislike to his son, and threatened Charles's life twice. It was an arduous process. The case moved up through court after court for years until the divorce was officially granted in 1895. Charles was ordered to pay alimony and Yda's attorney fees. Unfortunately, the nightmare didn't even end there. Charles continued to appeal. It wasn't until 1897 that the California Supreme Court forced Charles to pay up. During this debacle, Yda moved to San Francisco and resumed writing stories. Her writing was sharper than ever. Her stories always had themes of feminism, but now they were stronger and more focused. In 1898, the Santa Barbara News Press, the paper Charles published, and a few local officials received anonymous letters. These letters accused one Dr. Winchester of engaging in immoral and scandalous conduct. The doctor in question had testified against Yda in her divorce case, and the handwriting on the letters looked just like Yda's. All signs pointed to Yda. Yda denied her involvement and insisted she was set up by her ex-husband's employee, a man named Teddy Grant Jackson. But despite her protests, Yda was charged with criminal libel. While awaiting her sentence, Yda took matters into her own hands. She broke into Jackson's home. She said all she did was beg him to confess to framing her. He said she tried to kill him with chloroform while he was sleeping. Either way, Yda was thrown in jail for 8 months with an attempted murder charge hanging over her head. The case was eventually dismissed, and months later, she won an appeal on her libel case, too. After she was released, Yda disappeared from California and the public eye completely. Her name ceased to appear in newspapers and public records. Some stories say that after years of legal battles persecuting her on the grounds of insanity, she did check herself into a mental institution. According to another story, her only plan post-incarceration was to leave Santa Barbara for good and go somewhere she wouldn't be persecuted. The truth about her post-incarceration life largely remains unknown. What we know for sure is that in her disappearance, she left an impressive body of written work and a whirlwind of tabloid stories in her wake. All month, we're talking about disappearing acts. For more information, find us on Facebook and Instagram at Womanica Podcast. Special thanks to Liz Kaplan, my favorite sister and co-creator. Talk to you tomorrow.
For 25 years, Brightview Senior Living has been dedicated to creating an award-winning company culture so residents and families receive best-in-class services. Across our 50 communities, Brightview associates help deliver peace of mind, safety, security, transportation, daily programs, delicious food, and high-quality care if needed. Discover how our vibrant senior living communities can help you live your best life. Visit brightviewseniorliving.com to learn more. Equal housing opportunity.
Bring a little optimism into your life with The Bright Side, a new kind of daily podcast from Hello Sunshine, hosted by me, Danielle Robay.
And me, Simone Boyce. Every weekday, we're bringing you conversations about culture, the latest trends, inspiration, and so much more.
I am so excited about this podcast, The Bright Side. You guys are giving people a chance to shine a light on their lives, shine a light on a little advice that they want to share.
Listen to The Bright Side on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search The Bright Side.
It's been almost 3,000 years, and Greek mythology has proved that it is not going anywhere. But it can be difficult to find entertaining and engaging retellings of these myths that aren't fictionalized. Lucky for you, I'm here. Let's Talk About Myths, Baby is the Greek mythology and ancient history podcast of your dreams. I dive into the convoluted and confusing ancient sources so you don't have to. Listen to Let's Talk About Myths, Baby on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Abusers in Hollywood are as old as the Hollywood sign itself. And while fame is the ultimate prize in Tinseltown, underneath it lies a shroud of mystery. Binge this season of Variety Confidential from Variety, Hollywood's #1 entertainment news source, and iHeart Podcasts. 6 episodes are waiting for you right now to dive into the secret history of the casting couch, to explore the scandalous history of Hollywood's casting process. Listen to Variety Confidential on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.